The quantum beacon pulsed quietly in the darkness of space, its signal reaching across vast distances to the scattered remnants of humanity. On the bridge of the Artemis, Admiral Isabella Santos watched as the ancient device activated for the first time in millennia. Her weathered hands traced the holographic displays, confirming what she had waited her entire life to see. "It's time," she whispered, her voice carrying the weight of 40,000 years of exile. The bridge crew worked in focused silence, their augmented minds processing streams of data as the signal grew stronger. The Artemis hung in high orbit above Novus Prime, the most advanced of humanity's hidden colonies. Below, the crystalline spires of their cities gleamed with an inner light that would have seemed magical to their ancient ancestors. 40 millennia of technological evolution had transformed humanity into something their persecutors could never have imagined. "Admiral," Lieutenant Kai Patel's voice cut through her thoughts. "We're receiving responses from the other colonies. New Eden, Haven's Gate, and Sanctuary Station all confirm signal reception. The beacon network is fully operational." Isabella nodded, her neural implants projecting a tactical overview of known space directly into her consciousness. Dozens of dormant human colonies were awakening, hidden worlds that had been preparing for this moment since their ancestors fled Earth. "What of the long-range scans?" she asked, her augmented eyes focusing on the distant sector where Earth once thrived. Commander Richard Nash stepped forward, his uniform bearing the insignia of strategic intelligence. "The Kraxan Empire still holds dominion over that sector, Admiral. Their technological level remains relatively unchanged since our exodus. They never expected us to return." A bitter smile crossed Isabella's face. The Kraxan, in their arrogance, had believed they had broken humanity forever when they forced them from Earth. They never understood that they hadn't broken humanity. They had freed them to evolve beyond anything the Kraxan could imagine. "Begin Phase 1, Isabella commanded. Throughout the ship, ancient systems hummed to life. The Artemis wasn't just a warship. It was humanity's ark, carrying within its vast hull the accumulated knowledge and technology of 40,000 years of preparation. Deep in the ship's core, the quantum forge activated. It would take months to build the fleet they needed, but time was finally on their side. The Kraxan had grown complacent in their victory, spreading their empire across the galaxy, while humanity watched from the shadows, learning, growing, and waiting. "Admiral," Kai called out again, his voice tense. "We're detecting unusual activity in the Hylia sector. The Kraxan are mobilizing their frontier fleets." Isabella's augmented mind processed the tactical implications instantly. "They've detected something. Not us, not yet, but they sense the change." She turned to face her crew, each of them enhanced with technologies that would have seemed godlike to their ancestors. "Humanity has hidden long enough. Send the activation codes to all colonies. Protocol Prometheus is now in effect." Throughout known space, hidden human outposts began to stir. Massive underground factories awakened, automated systems beginning the production of weapons and ships that incorporated 40 millennia of technological advancement. In secret asteroid bases and hollow moons, ancient warriors emerged from suspended animation, their bodies and minds enhanced far beyond natural limits. "What of the Archimedes Protocol?" Commander Nash asked quietly, referring to the controversial weapons system that had been developed in the final days before their exodus. Isabella's expression hardened. "Keep it in reserve. We're not here for mere revenge. We're here for justice." She paused, watching as more signals appeared on her tactical display. "The Kraxan drove us from our home, but they also forced us to become something greater. Now they'll learn what humanity has become." The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, their augmented minds coordinating complex operations across vast distances. In the ship's massive hangars, automated systems began constructing the first wave of combat drones, each incorporating AI systems that had evolved over 40 millennia. "Send word to all colonies," Isabella commanded. "Operation Homecoming begins in 30 days. We strike at dawn, just as they did to us all those millennia ago." She turned to gaze out at the stars, her enhanced vision picking out the distant light of Earth's sun. But unlike them, we won't fail. The Kraxan patrol fleet never saw the attack coming. One moment, they were conducting routine surveillance of their border systems. The next, their sensors detected a cascade of quantum anomalies as humanity's vessels materialized from seemingly nowhere. Fleet Commander Razak of the Kraxan Defense Force watched in horror as his ship's advanced targeting systems simply failed to lock onto the human vessels. Their hulls seemed to bend reality itself, making them appear to be everywhere and nowhere at once. Impossible, he hissed through his mandibles. These cannot be the same primitives we drove from their world. The human ships moved with impossible grace, their forms shifting and flowing like liquid metal. 40,000 years of evolution and technological advancement had eliminated the need for traditional spacecraft design. These vessels were practically living entities, their quantum-entangled cores allowing them to operate as extensions of their crew's enhanced consciousness. Aboard the Artemis, Admiral Santos directed the battle through her neural interface, her augmented mind processing combat data faster than any computer. Target their command and control systems only, she ordered. Minimal casualties. This is a demonstration, not a massacre. The human fleet moved as one organism, deploying swarms of microscopic machines that penetrated the Kraxan ships' hulls. Within seconds, their weapons and propulsion systems went dark, leaving them helpless but alive. Lieutenant Patil monitored the battlefield through his quantum sight. Admiral, the enemy fleet is neutralized. No casualties on either side. The Kraxan are broadcasting distress signals across all frequencies. Good, Isabella replied, her voice firm. Now for Phase 2. Commander Nash, begin the transmission. Throughout the disabled Kraxan fleet, every screen and holographic display came to life. The image of Admiral Santos appeared before them, her enhanced form, a striking mixture of human and something more. When she spoke, her words were translated perfectly into the Kraxan language. People of the Kraxan Empire, 40,000 years ago, you drove humanity from Earth, believing you had broken us. Instead, you forced us to evolve. We return not as conquerors, but as harbingers of change. Your empire's time of unchecked expansion is over. On the Kraxan command ship, Razak watched with a mixture of fear and fascination as his sensors reported the impossible. The human vessels were manipulating space-time itself, creating stable wormholes that allowed them to move vast distances instantly. Send word to the High Command, he ordered his communications officer. The legends were true. The humans have returned, and they are beyond anything we could have imagined. Meanwhile, across Kraxan space, other human fleets were emerging from hiding. Centuries-old sleeper cells activated, revealing that humanity had never truly abandoned their home sector. They had been watching, waiting, and preparing. In the Artemis Tactical Center, Commander Nash presented the latest intelligence. The Kraxan military is in chaos. Our technological advantage is even greater than we anticipated. Their weapons can't penetrate our quantum shields, and their sensors can't track our movements. Isabella nodded, but her expression remained grave. Remember, this is not about humiliation or revenge. Each action must serve our greater purpose. She turned to face the tactical display, where thousands of human ships were now visible, emerging from their hidden stations throughout Kraxan space. Begin broadcasting the terms, she commanded. All Kraxan military forces are to stand down. Their civilian populations are not to be harmed. We will accept nothing less than full diplomatic recognition and the immediate cessation of all aggressive expansion policies. The response from the Kraxan High Command was predictable. Their primary battle fleet, 10,000 ships strong, was already assembling for a counterattack. They still didn't understand that they were facing an enemy that had evolved far beyond traditional warfare. They're deploying their primary fleet, Admiral, Kai reported. Estimated arrival in 6 hours. Isabella's augmented mind quickly calculated countless possible scenarios. "Deploy the Prometheus grid," she ordered. "Let them see exactly what they're facing." Throughout the sector, invisible quantum networks activated. Humanity's true defensive infrastructure revealed itself. A vast, interconnected web of space-time manipulation devices that could literally rewrite the laws of physics within their sphere of influence. "Send them one final warning," Isabella commanded. "Tell them that we remember everything. Every life lost, every world taken. But also tell them that we offer a choice. Adapt and coexist with us, or face obsolescence." As the message was transmitted, Isabella reflected on humanity's long journey. They had entered exile as refugees, but returned as beings that existed at the intersection of biology and technology. The Kraxen had intended to destroy them, but instead had forced them to transcend their limitations. The next few hours would determine whether this would end in peaceful resolution, or if humanity would be forced to demonstrate just how far they had evolved. Either way, the galaxy would never be the same again. "All ships, maintain position," Isabella ordered. "Let them come to us." It's time they learned that the species they thought they had broken has instead been reborn. The dawn of a new era begins now. Across the battlefield, human ships waited in perfect formation, their quantum cores humming with power that defied conventional physics. The children of Earth had returned, and they were about to show the galaxy exactly what 40 millennia of evolution and preparation had created. As the Kraxen battle fleet approached, Commander James Harrison made a discovery that would change everything. Deep in the secure data vaults of the Artemis, his enhanced mind sifted through ancient records that had been sealed since the exodus from Earth. "Admiral Santos," he called through the quantum link, his voice tense. "You need to see this immediately." Isabella appeared in the vault moments later, her form shimmering as she quantum shifted through space. "What have you found, Harrison?" "The Exodus protocols weren't just about survival," he explained, projecting the decoded data into their shared consciousness. "Look at these energy signatures from the final battle of Earth. There was another force present, one that wasn't Kraxen." The holographic display showed a third fleet, their energy signatures masked by advanced technology that even now, 40 millennia later, was difficult to analyze. The ships had remained hidden during the battle, observing as the Kraxen drove humanity from their homeworld. "The architects," Isabella whispered, the name appearing in ancient warning protocols. "They manipulated both sides. The Kraxen were just pawns." Above them, the massive Kraxen fleet had arrived, their weapons primed, but holding position. The Prometheus grid hummed silently, ready to neutralize any attack. But now, this new information changed everything. "All command staff, emergency conference," Isabella broadcasted. The senior officers materialized in the vault, their quantum-linked minds joining the shared consciousness. Lieutenant Patel spoke first, his enhanced mind already processing the implications. "If the architects engineered our exile, they must have had a reason. Our evolution wasn't just survival, it was part of their plan." "But why?" Commander Nash questioned, his tactical algorithms running countless scenarios. "Why force us to evolve for 40,000 years?" Before anyone could respond, new alarms blared throughout the fleet. Lieutenant Patel's eyes widened as he processed the sensor data. Unknown vessels appearing at the edge of the system. Their technology. It's like nothing we've ever seen. The tactical display showed massive ships emerging from what appeared to be tiers in reality itself. They made both human and Kraxen technology look primitive by comparison. "Attention, children of Earth and Kraxen." A voice resonated directly in their minds, bypassing all communication systems. "The great experiment has reached its conclusion." Isabella's enhanced mind raced with possibilities. "Open a channel to the Kraxen fleet," she commanded. "They need to know what we've discovered." The image of Fleet Commander Razak appeared before them, his mandibles twitching with tension. "Human Admiral, we are detecting impossible energy readings. What deception is this?" "No deception," Isabella replied, sharing the ancient data with him. "We were both manipulated. The architects used our conflict to force human evolution, while keeping the Kraxan technologically stagnant. We were all part of their experiment. The massive architect vessels moved into position around both fleets. Their very presence seemed to distort the fabric of space-time. For 40 millennia, we have watched and waited, the architect voice continued. Humanity's forced evolution and the Kraxan's enforced stagnation were necessary. The galaxy faces a threat that neither species could have faced alone. Commander Harrison's analysis subroutines detected something in the architect's transmission, a deep-seated fear. These godlike beings were afraid of something. "Show us," Isabella demanded. "Show us what was worth 40,000 years of manipulation." The space around them shifted, and both human and Kraxan fleets witnessed a vision of horror, a vast darkness between galaxies, moving with purpose and hunger. The architect's images showed entire civilizations being consumed, their essence stripped away by something that defied comprehension. "The Void Hunter's approach," the architect explained. "We have shaped humanity into a force of rapid adaptation and evolution, while preserving the Kraxan's stability and coordination. Together, you represent the galaxy's best hope for survival." Isabella shared a look with Razak through their communication link. 40 millennia of hatred and fear began to dissolve in the face of this revelation. All this time, Razak spoke, his voice heavy with realization. Our empire maintained order in the galaxy while the humans evolved in secret. We were both playing our parts without knowing. "The question now," Isabella replied, "is what we do with this knowledge." She turned her attention to the architect vessels. "You manipulated both our species, caused countless deaths and suffering. Why should we trust you now?" The response came not in words but in a flood of data. Undeniable evidence of the Void Hunter's approach, their unstoppable advance through neighboring galaxies. Commander Harrison's analysis completed. "They're telling the truth, Admiral. The threat is real, and it's coming. Estimation for arrival in our galaxy: less than 1 solar year." Isabella's enhanced mind processed the implications instantly. Humanity's return and the revelation of their evolution had never been about revenge. It was about preparing the galaxy for something far worse. "Commander Razak," she called out, "it seems we have a choice to make. Continue our old conflict, or face this threat together." The Kraxan commander's response was immediate. "The Empire has maintained order for 40 millennia. Perhaps it is time we learn to embrace change as well." As both fleets held position, the architects watching silently, humanity faced its greatest decision. The revenge they had planned for 40,000 years now seemed hollow in the face of extinction itself. The dawn of a new era had arrived, but not the one they had expected. The real test of humanity's evolution was about to begin. The news of the architect's manipulation spread through both fleets like wildfire. On the bridge of the Artemis, Admiral Santos watched as decades of carefully laid plans began to unravel. "We have a situation in the Haven's Gate colony," Lieutenant Puddle reported, his voice tense. "Admiral Marcus Thorne has declared independence from the Unified Command. He's mobilizing his fleet for immediate attack on Kraxan space." Isabella's enhanced mind processed the tactical implications instantly. Marcus Thorne commanded nearly a third of humanity's forces, ships and warriors who believed in absolute vengeance, regardless of the truth they'd discovered. This is Fleet Commander Thorne to all true children of Earth, his transmission cut through all channels. "We didn't hide for 40,000 years to become pawns in some alien game. The Kraxan must pay for their crimes." Below deck, Commander Harrison worked frantically to analyze the architect data about the approaching Void Hunters. "Admiral, the threat is accelerating. The Void Hunters have already consumed 3 satellite galaxies. Their pattern suggests they're drawn to advanced civilizations." The tactical display showed Thorne's fleet breaking formation, their quantum drives charging for attack. Nearly 300 ships, each carrying weapons that could shatter planets, now turned against their own kind. "Admiral Thorne," Isabella broadcast, "stand down immediately. The situation is more complex than we knew." The galaxy's survival depends on cooperation. Cooperation. Thorne's laugh was bitter. Tell that to the billions who died during the Exodus. Tell that to 40,000 years of refugees. The Kraxan fleet, led by Commander Razak, maintained their defensive position. Human Admiral. Razak communicated privately to Isabella. My ships stand ready to assist against these rebels. We must prevent this conflict. Before Isabella could respond, new alarms blared across every ship. The Architect vessels were moving, their massive forms shifting through space in ways that defied physics. Warning, the Architect voice resonated in all minds. The conflict draws them. The Void Hunters sense discord. Estimated arrival time now reduced to 3 months. Commander Harrison's enhanced vision caught something in the data stream, a glimpse of what was coming. His mind nearly broke at the sight. Admiral, they're right. The Void Hunters, they feed on conflict. Our division is like a beacon to them. But Thorne's fleet had already opened fire. Their advanced weapons struck not at the Kraxan ships, but at the Architect vessels. The massive alien ships absorbed the attacks without damage, but their response was immediate and terrifying. Space itself seemed to twist around Thorne's fleet. Ships began to vanish, not destroyed but displaced to distant parts of the galaxy. The Architect's power was beyond anything humanity had achieved, even after 40 millennia of evolution. Enough. Isabella's command cut through the chaos. Her enhanced form shifted through quantum space, appearing simultaneously on the bridge of every ship in both fleets. Look. She forced the vision of the Void Hunters into every mind present. The horror of what approached. Vast, ancient entities that consumed not just matter and energy, but the very essence of civilizations. The Architect's data showed worlds going dark, species vanishing not through destruction but through complete erasure from existence. Our conflict is meaningless, she continued. We evolved for 40,000 years, not for revenge, but for survival. The Kraxan maintained galactic stability while we changed. Both roles were necessary. The remaining human fleet hung in space, their crews processing the truth. Even Thorne's displaced ships had fallen silent, their crews horrified by what they'd seen. Commander Razak's voice joined hers. My people were used as well. Our pride in maintaining order made us blind to our own stagnation. Perhaps, he paused, mandibles clicking thoughtfully. Perhaps both our species have something to learn from each other. The Architect vessels pulsed with energy. The choice is yours, their shared voice proclaimed. Unite and face the void, or remain divided, and watch your galaxy join the others in oblivion. Deep in the Artemis's data cores, Commander Harrison made another discovery. Admiral, he called urgently. The Architects, they're not showing us everything. There's something else in this data about why they chose our species specifically. The tactical display updated with new information about Thorne's scattered fleet. They were returning, their crews shaken but alive. The Architect's intervention had prevented bloodshed while demonstrating their power. All ships, Isabella broadcast, her decision made. Stand down weapons. Our true enemy approaches, and we need every vessel, every mind, every piece of technology we've developed over 40 millennia. She turned to the quantum link with Razak. Commander, your empire maintained order for 40,000 years. Will you help us maintain something greater, the survival of all life in our galaxy? As both fleets awaited Razak's response, the stars themselves seemed to dim. Somewhere in the void between galaxies, ancient and hungry entities sensed the discord and moved faster toward their next meal. The time for revenge had passed. Now, survival demanded something far more difficult, forgiveness and unity in the face of extinction itself. Commander Harrison's discovery echoed through the quantum network like a shockwave. Admiral, the Architects didn't just choose us randomly. According to these data streams, humans and Kraxan share an ancient genetic marker. We're related. The revelation stunned both fleets into silence. On the Artemis bridge, Admiral Santos processed the implications through her enhanced consciousness. "Show me," she commanded. The holographic display expanded, revealing genetic structures that had remained dormant in both species for millions of years. The Kraxans' rigid exoskeletons and humanity's adaptable forms had hidden a fundamental truth. Both species had been seeded by the same ancient race. "We were never meant to be enemies." Commander Razak's voice carried a mix of awe and regret. "Our conflict was engineered to activate these dormant genes differently in each species." Before anyone could fully process this revelation, the Architect vessels pulsed with urgent energy. "They come," the collective voice warned. "The Void Hunters have sensed our gathering. They approach faster than calculated." The tactical display shifted, showing vast tiers in space-time at the galaxy's edge. The Void Hunters were no longer coming. They were here. "All ships, battle positions," Isabella commanded, her enhanced mind already formulating strategies. "Commander Razak, your Empire's strength has always been coordination. Take command of our combined defensive formations." The Kraxan commander didn't hesitate. "Acknowledged. All vessels, form the Imperial shield pattern. Human ships, your quantum technology can operate within our formations. Together, we are stronger." The combined fleet moved as one, 40,000 years of separation dissolving in the face of extinction. Human vessels, with their reality-bending quantum cores, slipped between the precisely organized Kraxan formations. Two military philosophies, evolved separately but from the same source, finally worked in harmony. The first Void Hunter emerged from the spatial tear, a vast darkness deeper than space itself. It didn't move so much as consume the distance between itself and the fleet. Stars dimmed in its passage, their light and energy absorbed into its unfathomable mass. "By the ancestors," Razak whispered, his mandibles clicking in horror. "How do we fight something that devours reality itself?" Isabella's response was immediate. "We don't fight it. We change it. Commander Harrison, initiate the Prometheus Protocol." Full power. Throughout the human fleet, quantum cores pulsed with energy. The Prometheus Protocol wasn't just a weapon. It was the culmination of 40,000 years of human evolution. The ability to rewrite the fundamental laws of physics within a localized space. "Kraxan ships, maintain formation," Razak ordered. "Channel all power to your stability fields. Whatever the humans are planning, we must anchor them in normal space." The Void Hunter struck first. Reality seemed to bend and twist around it, ships from both fleets beginning to fade from existence. But where the Kraxan formations held steady, the human vessel's quantum fields expanded, creating bubbles of altered spacetime. "Now," Isabella commanded. The Prometheus Protocol activated at full power, using the Kraxan ships as anchor points. The combined fleet wasn't just fighting the Void Hunter. They were rewriting the laws of physics around it. Commander Harrison's enhanced mind monitored the quantum readings. "It's working. The creature exists by consuming reality itself. We're changing the fundamental rules it operates on." The Void Hunter recoiled, its vast form distorting as it encountered space that no longer followed its understood laws of physics. The combined human Kraxan fleet pressed their advantage, expanding the altered spacetime bubble. "All ships, push forward," Razak ordered. "Our formations will maintain stability while the humans rewrite reality itself. Together, we can contain this entity." The Architect vessels observed silently as their 40,000-year experiment reached its culmination. Humanity's forced evolution had created beings capable of manipulating reality, while the Kraxans' enforced stability provided the anchor points needed to make such manipulation possible. "Admiral," Harrison called out, "the other spatial tiers, they're closing. The remaining Void Hunters are retreating. They can sense that this galaxy has developed a defense they can't overcome." The first Void Hunter, trapped in a bubble of altered reality, began to dissolve. Not destroyed, but transformed by laws of physics it couldn't comprehend or consume. In its death throes, it released all the energy and matter it had devoured over eons, sending waves of creation rippling through space. As the threat receded, Isabella opened a channel to all ships, human, Kraxan, and architect alike. Today marks not just our victory, but our rebirth. We were divided by design, evolved separately, but from the same source. Now we understand why. Commander Razek's voice joined hers. The Kraxan Empire has maintained order in this galaxy for 40 millennia. Now we must learn to embrace change, as our human cousins have mastered it. The architect vessels began to fade from normal space. Their final message resonated through all minds present. The experiment is complete. You have exceeded our expectations. The galaxy's future is now in your hands, not as separate species, but as children of the same cosmic legacy. As the combined fleet regrouped, Admiral Santos looked out at the stars. Stars that would now continue to shine thanks to the unity of two species that had once been bitter enemies. The revenge that humanity had planned for 40,000 years had transformed into something far greater: understanding, evolution, and the power to protect not just themselves, but all life in the galaxy. The dawn they had waited for had finally arrived, but it was not the dawn of vengeance. It was the dawn of a new era, where humanity's greatest victory came not from destroying their ancient enemies, but from joining with them to face a greater threat. The children of Earth had indeed come home, but they had found something far more valuable than revenge. They had found their true place in the cosmic order, standing together with those they once called enemies, guardians of a galaxy it would now face whatever challenges the universe presented, united and stronger than ever before.